Just bring we'll just bring everybody in. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to the live show. Excited to have Patrick and Theresa here. And we are going to talk all about our amazing new tool, Listing Assistant. How's it going, Patrick? How's it going, Theresa?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Doing well.
Going well. Doing well. Going good. Doing well.
Cool. Star's here. What's up, Star? Jason's here.
Hey,
Desert
everyone.
Ray's here. It's good when I know the selling names and I know the actual names as well. Kim's here.
Yeah, you're better at that than I'll ever be.
I try. Some I only know by certain names. Some I know by other names as well, or all their names, I guess you would say. But very excited. We'll get started in a sec. Melissa's here from Oceanside, my neck of the woods. Clara is here from Argentina. She's watching this time. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and then we will do our best to answer your questions. But a lot of people in today, a lot of people still coming in. Fabulous flamingos, but hopefully everybody across the country is doing well. But so let's get into it. So it's interesting to this is a great panel to have because we've literally got one of the guys that worked on it in the back end and one of the ladies that was the first tester for it. And also the number 1 and 2 number 1 and 2, not eBay. I got distracted by my shirt. List Perfectly users as well. So great, different perspectives. But again, bring your questions. And it's interesting because it seems like we're putting out a ton of listing assistant content, which we are. But still, I'm surprised of the people that haven't heard about it or are still using some of the original features, which are great. And we'll touch on those too. But not to call her out, but I was talking to Maggie Weber yesterday and I asked her, I said, so have you been using Listing Assistant? She said, yeah, it's great. I love the barcode scanner. And I said, that is cool. I said, but have you used have you done it with your photos yet? And she said, I had no idea you could do that. So now she is aware of that. But let's get started. Clara says that she taught Patrick everything he knows.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
There we go.
Thank you again, Clara. Thank you again.
Yes. So let's get started. For those that don't know, what is Patrick? What is List Perfectly's listing assistant? And then Theresa, I want you to give your definition as well.
Oh, the listing assistant. So basically, I mean, List Perfectly's listing assistant in my mind, and if I was going to tell somebody, is basically just your assistant to cut down listing time. It really just is right there for you. And like Doug said, he mentioned that Maggie was talking about a different component of listing assistant and everything. So it's really all about helping you list faster, make it more enjoyable, and just get those listings into your catalog and then eventually to the marketplaces as fast and as easy as possible. So yeah, I mean, it really is just your little assistant and buddy right there with you, listing and, trying to make the listing assistant do all the heavy lifting is where we're at right now with it.
Just what I need, more imaginary friends in my life. Listing buddy. Oh, did you hear that ching? That was mine. So my take on it, and this is what I say, I kind of have the spiel down. It reminds me when I used to demo software at quilt shows, but it is Listing Assistant will do your titles, descriptions, keywords and tags, and item specifics, all from your pictures. It will do it with one, but it will take up to the first 6. Do I sound like I said that a few times in my life? And I say it's a game changer. Everybody says the game changer is overused, and I agree, but this is a real game changer. I did 22 listings one night this week. Photos, put it in the listing assistant. So finish the listings, cross-posted to 3 to 4 marketplaces, because not everything went to Etsy, in an hour and a half. 22.
Nice.
So
That's
from
incredible.
photos to everything. Yeah, I felt that was pretty good. And they were all over the place. If I was doing, I did a bunch of golf balls the other night, and that went really, really fast because they were just all the same. So
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, the feedback has been incredible by the users using it. It has been very, very impactful already. And I mean, really, it's just kind of, as far as the listing assistant, the component that is using like image recognition to generate the details, that's really pretty early in its List Perfectly life. I mean, I don't know the exact date when we introduced it, but my point is that there's still a lot more to come with it. And like we talked about, just for like anybody that doesn't know, when we talk about listing assistant, there's basically 3 components to that right now. You have the latest and greatest is using, like Theresa said, up to your first 6 images, or as little as 1 image. It analyzes those images and then generates all those details like Theresa mentioned. Then there's the component of UPC or barcode scanning. So you can scan a item that you have. I actually have a pack of gum sitting here. You can hold your barcode up to your computer. It scans it, and then it'll generate listing details off of that. And then the third component is you enter your title, and then it will analyze your title and then generate all the details off of that. So there's a few different components. We're in the process of basically bringing them all together as one super listing assistant, which will be done soon, make it a lot easier for people. But yeah, so that's kind of sums up all of listing assistance. So yes, there is a few different pieces to it, but all of them, we're seeing all of them really have a lot of value in just kind of depending on people's businesses, listing flows, and kind of what they're doing. So yeah, it's been really cool. It's been a really fun feature to see from the ground up, and really fun to just kind of see List Perfectly embrace the AI that we're all using, honestly, in every part of our life. Probably by now there's some component of it being used. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
And to a degree, it's customizable. You can, choose what you show in there. That's pretty cool. If there's some facets that it generates that you don't use, you don't need to have them in there. But one thing I do want to touch on is people are talking about the tone feature. So let's talk about that a little bit. So how the tone works, maybe some examples of the stuff that you use, that you like. So let's talk about that.
So let me give my little pitch on the tone. So I like to say that not all AI is created equal, and it's not. And there's a lot of people that I demo this to, and they're like, I don't like AI. I don't like AI. And by the end of the time, they're like, oh my gosh, this is like real. And I'm like, yeah, this is List Perfectly. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. They trained their AI. And so they also give us options for tone. And so I don't even know who said it, but somebody says they use just the facts a lot. And I tend to use very funny. I don't think it's very funny, meaning it's this much humor, not this much humor. But I just like it. I think they're pretty good. It's just a dose of humor in it. If you do just the facts, you get just the bullet points. And I'm not sure people realize that. So I tend to not use that one. I will use professional and we'll demo it and I'll show you some different tones. But I like that we can have the tone. We have a lot of different choices. I don't know off the top of my head, Patrick, do you know how many different tones are in the drop-down menu?
You're asking.
And then the other
stuff, I don't know exactly, but honestly, you can just type your own as well. Just so everyone knows, the tones are basically when you go to have the listing assistant process, you can select a tone or input your own tone, and you're basically just telling the listing assistant, hey, with the description that you generate, do it in this kind of tone. So be funny, or just tell me the facts, or write your own in and you know, be, you know, a spooky Halloween teacher and, you know, have it tell it that, whatever.
Let me ask you this, Patrick. When you say you can type some in, I won't tell you the one that only comes to my mind, probably because you demoed it. But what are some of the ones that people actually use for the tone?
I just saw talk about somebody in there talking about a Stephen King one for Halloween items. I mean, you know, it's a good question. I'd like to probably look into that a little bit more and see if we see some trends, and then maybe it should just be introduced as an option and everything. So it's something that we kind of monitor, and a lot of it's going to come down to kind of what you sell. I mean, maybe it's somebody you know, selling something very specific, and they know their customer very well, and they can you know, set a tone that they feel like is going to be very helpful for their description. So it is a really good good feature. It's cool to see people play with it. I think this is probably the part that's making listing a lot more fun for people. So
when you were saying that, I was thinking when you said depending on what you sell. So we all know that eventually I will be selling my mom's quilting stuff. And so I was thinking quilty, no, but maybe if I tried crafty, maybe a crafty tone might work.
Yeah. So expert salesman at a craft show. You have 20 characters. Play with it.
Okay, 20 characters. Didn't know that.
Yeah. So you have up to 20 characters right now. But it is fun. It's cool to see. And you know, it does a really good job. I mean, I think I saw a lot with like baseball cards, for example, and somebody like through testing putting in as if you're a, you know, like a card seller or you own a card shop. So like, you know, like it just brings that in and then kind of pulls it all together really for you.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool.
So let me direct this question to our expert seller on the panel, ladies and gentlemen. Should we be removing dashes, commas, and the end sign from titles that AI generates? Yeah, I mean, this is a good point. You should review everything that it generates, but Theresa, can you address this question?
Yes, I do. Even if, because it will type in men's and women's with a comma, with an apostrophe, and that is an ampersand sign, Doug. And sometimes it will put the ampersand sign in there. And so I do remove that. Matter of fact, I've thought about it probably 16 times to message Patrick. Is there a way that we can make it so that it auto removes that? Because, you know, Amanda says we can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, I mean, you know, that kind of just goes to talking about like the training and the work that we've put in on this. I mean, I wish it was as simple, but as just, hey, you know, make sure you don't add this. Unfortunately, you're going to get results like a size 9.5 is going to look like a 95. You know what I'm saying? So some punctuation is valuable. You know, if it's great for your title, you'll have to decide for yourself. But
good point.
You know, there's some brands that include ampersand. So, but it's something that we continue to work with and optimize so that one day it can be, you know, much more efficient on recognizing, okay, is this a punctuation or is it part of a brand? Is this, you know, adding a period or is it important for the size?
So what I always tell people is I would much rather delete it because it's easier just to delete it than to have to add it in. So I like, and this is what usually happens. We think, yeah, why do we need that? But your 9.5 example is perfect. We need periods for 9.5, size 9.5. So it's not always as easy as we think it is.
Not always, but some things are. And I mean, you know, believe me, in the early testing and everything, there was a lot more kind of going on, and we see some little bit different things. So it's just, I mean, what's great is that you know, you talk about it, not all AI is the same and everything. And I mean, what's really cool, I mean, anybody that knows much about List Perfectly knows that it is built by resellers for resellers. So, you know, that is really carried through into the listing assistant here, because you see it in the quality of titles, the quality of descriptions. Because I mean, I'll tell you from early testing, as we're building integrations, for a while you're looking, you're going, well, okay, cool, it's doing a good job, but like we know in our industry, this isn't going to go well. I mean, who cares if it generates a bunch of details that aren't helpful at all? What does it matter? So the quality of that's honestly the best part about this is that, like, it's obviously it's a cool feature and it's generating good details and everything, but it's quality listings as well. It's not just like a bunch of jargon that, you know, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, here's the test I do, because I have everybody thinks that, you know, listing on eBay is the most difficult because they require all the item specifics. But if you know how eBay works, eBay takes eBay's AI, which is different than the AI we're talking about. Well, it's AI, but eBay's AI takes the information from the title and fills out in a lot of that category and item specifics for you. I have taken List Perfectly listing assistant generated listings and not edited them and cross-posted them over to eBay, and I can still get a listing done in 3 to 5 clicks. And so that tells you that it has been, it's not like they just developed, like Patrick's saying, they've tweaked it, they've worked on it, you know, like they really have honed it down. And the thing that I like the most is that it's a couple of sentences and then bullet points. Like that's the way we list when we do it manually.
And it's like you said, it's a quality listing. There are other tools out there that frankly don't generate the quality listings that we're doing. It can list from one photo, but obviously the more you have, the better results you're going to get. You know, up to 6 photos. Move your photos around. If you've got more than 6 photos, pick your top 6 to generate your listing. And the features, the things it picks up from the photos are pretty amazing, like etchings and stuff. What gets me to is the stuff it picks off clothing labels as well for you clothing sellers out there. But you know, I think the craziest thing I listened, we were talking about this the other day, was this weird little plush owl. And I Googled the owl and I couldn't find anything on the owl, and the listing assistant knew what it was. So let's dig a little deep. I know that we have some examples, and Theresa is the listing.
Be careful now. Use your words wisely.
Yeah, you had to remind me of the word ampersand. So, but Theresa is, amongst the biggest fans of Listing Assistant. And what I see a lot is people saying how it's speeding up their process. But what I love, because I like listing, I've always liked it, but now I like it even more. And Theresa has said this, but a lot of people say it makes listing fun. Some say it makes it fun again. Some say it finally makes it fun. So it's just such a great tool and a game changer. But let's see. We know that Theresa has some examples. So let's get into some examples. And then again, if you want to share, I know we've got a bunch of Listing Assistant fans on here. Jason Wells was a big early on fan, and a lot of users, and more people are picking it up. So share your questions. Share some what you like about Listing Assistant. Also, if you have suggestions too, there's always more coming. But let's get into some examples whenever you're ready, Theresa.
Yeah, let me make sure I get the right screen here. Okay. Do I have the right screen?
Let's see. There we go. Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So let me start over here. Let me start here. Are watching this later. I know that we know a lot of people that are here live, but if you get into your List Perfectly, you have this left-hand menu. If you're just, starting out, you can click on this down here and open it up, and it stays open. I like it to be open all the time, so that's what I leave it for. That's just a quick tip because I know people have been asking about that. Click on here, Express Lister. So this is what it looks like, and you have this customize button up here in the top. And so if I click that, these are all the options that you have, the fields that can be over here. And let's just say I want to choose keywords. I want to show the keywords. So these are the ones that are going to show in my listing and that I can fill in or have List Perfectly fill in. Now, you can also move these around. Now, I was using it to where the items that I was going to fill in were at the top. And actually, when I was working the other night, I'm like, I don't like that. I want to be able to see the stuff that List Perfectly does first. I'm using some of my keywords to fill in the title if the title's too short. So I want to put that up here. You can move these around to however it works for you. And this is what I love. I love that it is customizable for every one of us. So in the old listing form, if you were listing fast, you would tab, and you'd have to skip over the ones that you didn't use. And this way, you don't have to skip over them. You can just remove them from your listing flow. So now you can see, based on that, my title's at the top, and then I have all these other fields down here. So it's literally this easy. Now, typically I take the pictures on my phone and I will upload these all on my phone, but because I am at my computer, we're going to do this. So we can do, let's do some clothes. So I decided to put this in this folder because these are all stock photos. Now I know use stock photos, don't use stock photos, but there's no picture of a tag, which is what I would typically put in a listing to give me all the information. But just that fast, let's see what it comes up with. So this is the listing assistant. These are the tones that we were just talking about. So let's go sports or athletics. It's not one that I usually use. And we're going to let it think, review the photos. And Nike. So I'm guessing that it picked up the Nike from this symbol here, which is good. Women's orange, white. I don't want that ampersand or that. Okay, so now I'm the one that doesn't know what it is. It says size. It said it's giving a size small, but I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if the inseam is that. So I'm going to remove that. But it's that quick. And then I look at here. Active and stylish with these Nike biker shorts featuring high waist design. And then it gives you these bullet points, features. If these were a pair of shorts that I had taken the pictures of, I could verify if it was a 25-inch seam or not. It's very important at this point to review and verify. Check out your keywords. You may like them, you may not. Orange and white is not really a good keyword. And then you can type in your SKU, your price. I have no idea. If you know what your cost of goods are. Typically, I have weights. And then it filled in Nike. It filled in the size small, which is just a guess on their part. I can say they're new with tags, and so on and so forth. And just that fast, my listing's done. And I can click on it. There's two things I could do here. I can click on it. List Perfectly has auto saved it, and I can just go to new listing. But let's just say that I didn't like this active, whatever one that I used, sports and or athletics. You have this regenerate button up here. And for every listing, you can redo it twice. You can see I have 2 of 2 available. So let's say if I didn't like this, let's say I want to try very funny and see what it generates. And so you do it. And when you use the regenerate, it doesn't go against the 1,000 that you get each month. So that's a good option to have. So get ready to turn heads at the gym or on the street with these Nike biker shorts, high-waisted. They're as comfy as they are artsy. So just a little humor, just a little wit. And then it's just that easy. And now.
Yeah. What's really cool about that example you just did there is like, she talked about like reviewing for accuracy and things like that. Like, of course, that's an important thing. If anything you're doing, you're going to review. But that's a good example of when you're taking your photos and you get used to using Listing Assistant and everything, that you start to learn how important some photos really are. Include the tag, give it as much information as you can, and then it will deliver back as much information as it possibly can. So yeah, this is good.
try it. We'll try a shirt now, just because I saw that this had a tag. Fred David stretch, size large. We'll click this. We'll go to, let's just try professional. I really like, I mean, I am amazed at, if you take a picture of a spot on the item of clothing, like it told me that there was a spot on the left cuff or whatever it might be. So this is cursive, and we all know nobody can read cursive anymore. Apparently neither can AI, because it said feed David and it should be Fred. Easy fix. Size shirt or size large, elegant and professional. This red striped button-up shirt from Fred feed David. That's pretty funny. And then it gives you the what are the bullet points, and then it because of these measurements, it's 21 inches. Pit to pit 22 inches. So I always review that because it's looking at this measurement and not here. But again, it's so much easier just to change that than to have to type it all out. And same thing, it's taking this from that picture, 25 inches, got that one right. And it's just that easy. You fill in what you need and it saves it. Now, let me show you something. Let's just do one more. What do you want to do? Do you want to, should I do a plush or should I do a piece of furniture or these bowls? Let me do these bowls.
And then after this, we'll catch up on a couple questions.
Okay. So these are bowls that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace, and I take pictures of them. And I bought these because my mom has this set. I'm going to sell it, but she was missing some of these bowls and it was dirt cheap. So these aren't even pictures that we would take for a listing. And if I take this, let's try very funny. I don't know. It's very funny is my favorite. Sometimes I don't want to be professional or artsy. Certified International, which they are. Certified International is the name brand. Sunflower bowl set of 4, floral, hand painted. I'm not sure if they're hand painted, but like it's taking all of this stuff from here. Yes, I will have to review it. I will have to add my information in here, but I'm guessing that it probably got a lot of this stuff from this one here because, it has that information on it. And there's no pictures of the bottom of the bowl with the stamp on it, but I do happen to know that they are certified. That's the brand. So, I mean, it's just, you can use anything, photos that we're used to, photos that we're not used to, not photos that we're used to, photos that we take as resellers or photos that we happen to use or find.
So also real quick, thanks Theresa for going over those real life examples. So a couple other things though, and we did touch on this. So that is the feature where AI generates, or listing assistant generates your whole listing from photos. But also, and Patrick talked about this earlier, there's still the barcode scanner, which works really well too, and it is great. And a lot of people I know work with barcodes, like to use those as well, and that works from mobile and from desktop as well. It's like when I use it, I just sit here at my station and just hold it up to the camera, zoom, zoom, like that. Same thing right there with the tag. Go ahead, Theresa.
I use both interchangeably. I use the listing assistant where I scan my barcodes because I do sell a lot of new items. I've used that as much this last week as I have the photo generator. Yeah. And I have a barcode scanner at my desk, and it beeps it and fills it in, and it just saves me from doing all kinds of work.
And and keep that up. Yeah, whatever system works for you. You can also generate your own title and have listing assistant generate the description for you. So there's many options. And again, what you show in there, what you use is customizable. So you don't have to show everything when you're doing your listing. But let's get to a couple questions. So Karen Dutremble, Karen is new. Thanks for being here, Karen. Welcome to the show. Welcome to List Perfectly. This is our Friday live. We do it every Friday. A lot of times we interview sellers or we talk about, things like this, List Perfectly features. So thanks for being here. We have a lot of resources. You were asking about photos. Not sure what photo help you need. And I see that you sell through eBay. I mean, we've got a ton of features, ton of stuff with photos. We options that are available, but I'm going to put in a link to our community page, which is going to show a lot of the resources that we have that are free and available. So, like the Facebook group, List Perfectly Facebook group, you can get in there and ask that question. Or if you want to tell us what you need, I'm sure we can answer it here down the line. So I'll put that in the chat that link in the chat in a minute.
Can I just comment, because I saw her comment about selling personal stuff?
Okay.
So Karen, I have, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, I had this big house. I sold it. Instead of donating everything when I moved, I decided to sell it on eBay. And I've been tracking those sales, and I have made $120,000 selling my personal stuff over the last 7 or 8 years. So you can do it. Your stuff is worth a lot more money than you think it is. I'm now kind of moving away from that and trying to do more wholesale stuff, but it was really, really fun, especially during the pandemic, to have all that stuff to list and watch it fly out the door. So it can be done. You don't need a business plan to sell. You don't need a business. You don't need a business to sell on eBay at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And Karen, we're here for you. I mean, the community's here for you. If you're new to selling, I don't think there's any other community like the seller community. It's so willing to help other sellers and so willing to just, answer questions and be available. But I'll post that link in a moment. But here's another question from Amy. Theresa, if you hit regenerate and you like the prior one, is there a way to go back to that one? Degenerate, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, Patrick, we have them do a degenerate. No, you can go back and select the same tone, but it will generate something slightly different. If you hit the same tone 3 different times, it will come up with something slightly different.
Okay. Does it pull pricing like some of the other platforms do? You do have options to research your pricing. You want to talk about that, Theresa?
Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah. So to answer, it kind of depends. So basically, if you're utilizing the barcode scanner and things like that, if it's available in the database, it can pull it in. It's very dependent on what product you're going to use and things like that. Right now, suggested pricing is not part of Listing Assistant on the AI generation of details. So not right this moment.
But we do have a cool integration with Google Lens. When you have your photos in there, you can click a photo and that'll take you to the Google Lens page, and you can see other products that are available that are on sale, and you can kind of get a cross reference of the pricing range there. Clara says, yeah, so we will talk about how to get into Listing Assistant before we go today. I mean, it is available in a specific plan, and we're going to tell you how to get there, but thanks, Clara, for putting that in there. Let's see. I was on a roll cross-listing from eBay to Poshmark and Mercari. Now all of a sudden the Mercari is not listed next to my. So Valerie, I will give you. So that's something that you should submit a support ticket for to get some help, because it could be something specific with you. But I will post that link as well. Let's see. Can you program some standard condition notes? Can you program some standard condition notes, i.e. used CPICs?
Yeah. So right now, that's not a supported field by the Listing Assistant, like automatically generating those details. But List Perfectly offers templates that you can utilize to basically set up your own custom template that, you know, maybe you would set up like for your example, set up a used one that would have like very specific details that you want to include in certain fields that you can basically leverage these different features together, and kind of make your listing experience, you know, that much easier.
Or another option is if they wanted it to be in every eBay listing, they could put it in the footer.
Yeah. There's honestly a few different options there depending on like what you want to accomplish. But yeah, that's a great suggestion too. So yeah, Theresa's talking about the custom footers feature. So that allows you to basically set up one time a custom footer that would be appended to your description based on what marketplace you're copying to. So, you know, everybody has different lingo, things they want to say, depending on what marketplace they're selling on, different restrictions, stuff like that. So a lot of times people will utilize that feature and then, you know, maybe put in something like that, like they were mentioning there.
Love this comment from Flippin' Jaybird. I don't cross post, so thought I would never need LP, but I'm rethinking after this in Star's recent vid. Seems like it would be like having a virtual assistant for way less. Yeah, you would be surprised, Flippin' Jaybird. So
what I tell people, while List Perfectly does cross post, it's not even in my top 5 favorite features. And this listing assistant in 2024 is what cross posting was in 2019. Like, it is that game changer. And yes, it is like having a much cheaper version of a VA.
Yeah. And I also love gotten a lot of feedback, and it's been really cool to see, like we know the feature has been helping a lot of people. It does a very good job, but it's been one of the coolest things to hear is that basically with Listing Assistant and the image recognition, if you can shoot pictures, you can generate an entire listing. So what does that mean? I mean, lots of sellers saying, finally, I can have my husband help me. You know, someone, or finally, you know, like, hey, I've never been real comfortable selling this kind of product, but all I have to do is take a couple images and it generates the entire listing. Or I can, you know, get my kids to help easier, if that's allowed in your state and laws and labor laws. I don't know. But my point is that it's just super easy to get other people involved. I mean, to be completely honest, we work with some I work closely with some large organizations that it's just completely busted open the gates on who can be involved in different processes now. Because, you know, somebody that was highly skilled at creating listings, it can get much more help, much more volume is getting done. It's just so much easier to snap a few pictures and be able to generate some of these details. And even if it's not, you know, 100% perfect, or you know, there's a final review process, it's typically like very minimal tweaks at that point.
For sure.
There you go. And this is Sandy May. You make a great point. Yeah, the eBay research tool is great, and but remember, a couple things there that used to be that's from TerraPeak data, and so that's in your seller hub. You go there, and this is I loved it when it came out. It's such a cool tool. I use it a lot too. But remember, those are eBay prices, and that's stuff that have sold on eBay. But it's really good. Gives you a cool range. Gives you an average. Really good to use for eBay. A lot of sellers price different stuff on different platforms. Just still catching up on questions.
Lots of questions today. That's good.
Yeah, this is good. We've got a good active crowd. We like that, and we always love. You know, we love the usual suspects, and we love new people as well. New suspects we love. Yeah, LPs is easy to learn. Tons of helpful videos on the website, and again, DH, I will post that community link here, and you will see it. And that's a lot of the resources that we have available, including, like, you know, 24/7 support that's very easy to get to and access via List Perfectly. And this is true. Star Bryce and Flippin' Hippos makes amazing tutorial videos, but she is a great teacher.
And Doug, while you're talking about community, let me put a little plug in here for Listing Party, because there's some people on here that are thinking about joining List Perfectly. If you join List Perfectly, you have access to Listing Party, listingparty.com. And that is an amazing community of List Perfectly sellers. We have daily, there's a daily mastermind call every morning at 6 o'clock Pacific, 6 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern time. There's different other sellers will do something. Nisha does one on jewelry. Star does one on Friday afternoons that you can talk about true crime while you list. And there's a 24-hour room where you can just go and hang out. And that's really great. You know, I pop in there and I'm working away on whatever I'm doing, and people they're either silent or they're talking about, you know, whatever, or you can say, hey, what do you call this band on these pants? Or, you know, and somebody in the room will know. And it's just like, it's a nice way to have community, since we're all used to working by ourselves. And now we have a little VA buddy, so we don't even have a real VA in our life. And it's just having company while you work. And it's a great, great community. I love the List Perfectly community.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Theresa. No, Listing Party is great. It's one of our resources that's included when
with every subscription.
With every subscription to List Perfectly. And this is a good point, that for those of you that are in the call that are new to List Perfectly, we do offer a guarantee to try it out. 100 free listings or 5 days, whichever comes first. And, you know, if it's not for you, you can get your money back, but, you know, you should at least try it out. Let me make sure I've got all the questions in here, and then I will get to sharing my links. They've got me hopping today in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, but I like it. It is fun.
Earn your keep.
That's right. Earn my keep. We love doing this. Star is going to be updating her tutorials. I will make a note to share the link to Star's YouTube. We'll do that. But great resource. And again, like we said earlier, sellers helping sellers. Elizabeth S., thank you for your work on this. I'll admit I was skeptical. I thought my process was as fast as I could get, but this advancement proved me wrong. Yeah, it's interesting. That's the thing too, is and Theresa, in a minute, please tell us how overall it's improved your process, your listing time. And the thing that I say too, because don't be scared of the word or the term or the abbreviation AI. It's a tool, and it's getting ingrained in more and more stuff. You'd be surprised how much you are probably actually already using it. And then, you know, there's a lot of not great AI out there that is not generating quality listings like we're doing. So, but thank you, Elizabeth. We appreciate it. Wow. Just wanted to say thanks. No, thanks. Yeah. We appreciate it.
I mean, we love to hear that. But, you know, this is so powerful that if you go watch Kat the Nurse Flipper, she changed her process. If you watch Bolo Buddies Courtney, she changed her process. If you watch Rebel Reseller, she changed her process. Like, it is that game changing to change your process. How did I change my process? Well, my normal minion that is here, she took the summer off. And so now I'm changed my process. Now I'm taking the pictures and listing. But it's what I used to do is I used to take all my pictures in batches and upload them. And then I would have a VA do whatever they did. And it was a long process. And, you know, I mean, you saw my catalog. I have 300 unlisted items in there. But this process for me to take the pictures and create the listings and upload them all in one sitting in an hour and a half, that is game changing. Those listings are getting up now. And so I think that my minion will be back in the first part of August. And I'm really anxious. This came out after she left for the summer, and I texted her about it, and she was just blown away. So I'm really anxious to see how many she can do, because she was getting like 40 to 60 done in a 7-hour day without this. So somebody that's as skilled and dedicated as she is it's gonna blow me away how many she can get done.
Yeah. I want to talk just for a second about too, because like Theresa demoed here on desktop. I want to talk about just for a moment though, because when we're talking about listing assistant, especially the image recognition part, just analyzing your images and generating all the details, about the most typical flow we see people listing in, because we demoed in desktop, which it can be done that way. That's fine. But honestly, List Perfectly site can be accessed from mobile, tablet, desktop, basically any product you're using. Only the cross-posting feature requires a desktop computer with the extension. Otherwise, everything can be done on mobile. So when we talk about processes and optimize with the listing assistant, what we typically see are people going straight from pictures to a full listing generated in a matter of 15 seconds, because what you're doing is you're accessing on your mobile phone and you're using features to add a new listing and take photos right into List Perfectly. So you snap your photos, and as they're uploading, you're generating all the details from your mobile device. And it doesn't require any additional transferring of images or anything like that. So that's probably the most optimized flow right now, and what we see being the most common. So just wanted to point that out since we demoed on desktop. But like I said, everything can be done on List Perfectly on mobile devices as well. No need for an app or anything like that. It's just as simple as on your browser on Safari. A lot of iPhone users on Safari go to listperfectly.com and hit log in. That's it. There's nothing else to do.
Now we love this, Sandy. I've never listed so much so fast since Express Listing Lister with the AI. I'm beside myself with excitement every time I see my listing created in seconds.
See,
And
listing's fun.
yeah, listing is fun. And I list literally, I've got the station here, and I start in mobile, and I have desktop open. I go back and forth, and it updates automatically, and they're synced up. And that's kind of one of the big advantages is we're all conditioned that we need an app, and that we need to have an app, and that we look for an app. Our platform is mobile responsive for a reason. You could just simply download it on your phone and it's synced up. If we had an app, it would be two different environments that wouldn't always sync up. And that's, one of the reasons that we don't have an app, frankly. And I wanted to show just so.
Let me add one thing to that, Doug.
Sure. Yes,
because
ma'am.
if you have help, we're talking about you don't need a VA. I will still have my VA. But what has always worked with List Perfectly is she's out in the warehouse. She's taking pictures and doing listings on the phone, and I'm here at my desk and I can see it as it goes. And sometimes I will say, hey, can you take a better picture of that before she gets it put away and we have to go dig it out. I love that. I love that I can be working on it on the catalog in here. She's taking pictures and changing listings out there. And it's like we're working side by side.
And then, and definitely, thank you, Theresa. And for those that did ask, I do want to show you something cool real quick. It is probably the best, quickest, and easiest way to get support and help. And again, 24/7. So basically what you do is you go into List Perfectly, and we've got this cool little LP support widget you can click. You can search for help. You can search for documentation. We have a ton of documentation. And then you can get help direct from this link. All kinds of different options. And then you've got your nav bar over here, help and support as well. And to reach out to contact us, you're talking to a real person. We have some automatic stuff that will kind of guide you, because I prefer self-help or did I say self-help? I did. Self-help, ladies and gentlemen. And yes. So, but anyway, I like to try and find the answer for myself and try and figure it out. But a lot of people do like that live support. We have that 24/7. And don't forget that we all use List Perfectly. We all sell at some level or another. And we are all very familiar with the product, and all available to help as well, including our support team. And a lot of people ask, it's US based. So, but they know the product, you're going to get a good answer. It's not like some support where you're not sure the answer you may get if you call in. But I'm going to pin a couple other comments. So what I want to talk about before we do go is, so let's talk about how you get started with Listing Assistant, what you have to do to get it. and a little bit about the Pro Plus plan.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Patrick.
Yeah. Sorry, I was unmuting. Yeah. So right now, Listing Assistant is a Pro Plus feature. Pro Plus right now is through the rest of the year. Right now is completely free to opt into for Pro Plan members. So you just have to simply be a Pro Plan member, and then you can opt into Pro Plus completely free and gain access to all of the features, not just Listing Assistant. But that is where what we've been talking about today, that Listing Assistant, that is where it is part of the Pro Plus plan right now. So some of those other features include auto delist, customizable QR labels, and to be completely honest, very soon, some other features that haven't even been released that will be coming literally probably in the next week or so. So it's really a good time actually to get opted in and get yourself acquainted with some of these features that we've talked about here. And then you'll kind of hit the ground running and be able to add in those other features that are coming to help your business, really. So again, that's totally free through 2024, actually. It's kind of crazy. We're in July, but yeah. You're muted, Doug.
Too many things at once. This is the link to our pricing page. So basically this shows you all the different plans that we have for different levels, different types of sellers. And as Patrick was mentioning, we have the Pro Plus plan. You opt into Pro or sign up for Pro, and then you can opt into Pro Plus for free until the end of the year. And then we've got this great little chart down here that breaks everything down. And obviously we've got Simple, Business, and Pro for different levels of sellers. If you're a hobbyist, maybe Simple works for you. But just it depends on what you want to do. And then also, ladies and gentlemen, if you are like, I'm not sure what plan I should have, we have this cool little tool called Plan Advisor that kind of runs you through some questions and will make a suggestion for you. So just sharing this out there.
Yeah. I saw a couple of questions pop up about if we know the cost after the promo is over and everything. And to be completely honest, no, not right now. There is no disclosure of cost, no matter what you see or read out there. If it's been out there at all, literally no decision has been made. And really it's by design. There's lots of features that we honestly have not released yet. So how things kind of shake out on different plan levels and things like that is just really kind of to be seen. So, I know a lot of people are kind of itching to know, is it ever going to be realistic and everything? I can assure you, look, List Perfectly was created almost like totally out of a need for a tool that's affordable. So, like a lot of tools that List Perfectly offers, there were some solutions at the time, but it was costing sellers thousands of dollars a month kind of tools and everything. Now that landscape is a lot different, but I know this question comes up a lot, and I can be 100% honest and transparent and say that there is no cost yet. It has not been decided. And basically I would just encourage you to, if you're at that Pro plan level, to definitely opt in and just utilize it and test it out. And then, hopefully in the coming months, we'll have something a little more finalized, and we'll be in a better place to say like, yes, these are the features that are going to be solely dedicated to Pro Plus, and this is what's making this price. So, a lot of these features and things like that are unique in how they're integrated with no additional charges on List Perfectly plans. There's no little like a la carte. You can't say, let me buy 10 more generated descriptions, let me buy 5 more background removals or things like that. So all of these things and usages and stuff like that kind of factor into what that final cost may be. But I know it's hard and it's easy for me to sit on this side and say, but I would encourage you to just see your time is worth something. Everyone's time is worth something. So maybe if you're generating, so many listings, which hopefully in return, if you're listing more, it means more listings on the marketplaces, which means more sales. In a few months, maybe you won't even be questioning what that cost was, even though it's kind of worth it. So yeah, that's kind of my spiel on it. But like I said, I know it's easy for me to sit on this side and say that, but yeah.
So let me just say something, because I do get this question a lot as well. And I do use the product every day, all day long. And List Perfectly, I've been using List Perfectly for 5 years. And I like to remind people that 5 years ago, I think we had 4 platforms. We had like nowhere near the features that we have, and the price has never increased. Now, there's a lot more new features. So when I think of that, for 5 years, it's never increased. I think that it's going to be affordable. Well, affordable to me may not be affordable to somebody else. So it's all these things that we have no way of knowing. I love the fact that if you opted in when this first was made available, which I think was last October, you've had this long, and even if you opt in today, you still have 5 months to have a chance to use it, to see how it will grow your business, to test it all out. Let's say, I know, and I just happen to know these numbers off the top of my head because I type them all the time, but I started using List Perfectly in 2019, and in 2020 was an anomaly year, so I don't even count that. But in 2021, by using List Perfectly and selling all the platforms that I wasn't selling on before List Perfectly, I increased my sales an average of $2,200 a month. And in 2022, that went to $3,000 a month. And in 2023, that was $3,300 a month. So you have some time to test it out, to see if it helps you list faster, or in my case, get my listings out of my unlisted tag onto the platform so they can sell, and then see how it will increase your sales and save you time, because the time component is a huge aspect of this new feature. And having the ability to, instead of working all night Friday night, maybe you only work until 8 o'clock, and then you can enjoy the evening watching a movie or something. It's so many different options out there. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I'm seeing some of this in the comments, and you both touched on this. Is just think about the efficiency you'll get, the time you'll get back, and the other things you may be using that you can cut out. I mean, you could save on a VA. You could save. We've got a Poshmark sharing tool that a lot of people are saving money on by not using another service, another option. And then the other big thing that I love, because I was going to say, and Patrick did, is there are other options out there that have very confusing plans, very confusing pricing. You have to spend more. List Perfectly, so much stuff is unlimited. Your listings are unlimited. What you can do is unlimited. The pricing is clear. It's always going to be clear. You're not going to wind up having to pay extra for a salad and pay extra for a baked potato, when you go to the steakhouse. But the other thing is, with List Perfectly, we are your partner. We know it. We all sell. We know the product. We're your partner. You don't need a best friend in reselling. You need a partner in reselling, and that's what List Perfectly is. We're so ensconced in our great community. We've got all these resources. We do these things. We do lives multiple times a week. Again, we've got Listing Party, the podcast, the blog, so much more. And we're just the best out there. I'll sum it up with that.
Can I tie something in? Because I did a demo right before this, and I did some numbers, and I just happen to have them on the screen here, because it's something that doesn't have to do with anything with Listing Assistant. It's a feature that List Perfectly has had from day one. I wasn't using it, and it's the keyword generator. And when I learned how keywords worked on Etsy, I started using List Perfectly to generate the keywords, adding them to my eBay listings. And I pulled my numbers up. Last year, for the entire year, my Etsy sales were $4,200. This year, through June, my Etsy sales are $5,700. Like, it's that kind of stuff that you don't think about. I have all these listings on Etsy for as long as I've been using List Perfectly, but I didn't understand tags. I wasn't using the tag generator. And then I listened to a listing party listing parties. I don't know what you call it. Listing on Etsy titles and tags, and it taught me the importance of it. And I have seen this much growth. Now, I think I started doing this in March. So my 6-month sales really are from the last 3 months. So nothing to do with the Pro Plus or what we're talking about. This is old stuff. Like, it really does help sellers be better.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, Patrick and Theresa, thanks so much for taking the time to come in from your different perspectives and talk to us all about our amazing new AI tool, Listing Assistant, changing the game in selling and making listing fun again. What a great tagline, making listing fun again. And like Theresa said at the top of the hour, truly a game changer, and where that, good spot where this term is applicable. But thanks everybody for being here. Great crowd today. Great chat, as the kids say. I've learned they talk to each other and consider a group of kids of chat. Great chat. Please hit the thumbs up. Remember, you can rewatch this video if you so choose. But thanks everybody for being here. Thanks, Clara, for being here from Argentina. We love having an international audience as well. But yeah, thanks everybody. And don't forget the List Perfectly group. Clara knows what I was going to say. Don't forget to join us on the Facebook List Perfectly group, where you can post and chat with our community. So it's a great group. Nearly 11,000 members now, very active. Questions don't have to just be List Perfectly related questions. You can get in there. You can ask for advice. You can ask for tips about marketplaces. Hey, I'm new to eBay. What about this? What about this? And that's, again, likely 24/7 people are in there to answer your questions and help out. So any closing remarks, Patrick or Theresa?
Sell on, sellers.
That's a new one. That's going to be.
I was about to put that t-shirt on this morning and I went, no.
Sell on, sellers.
That's an eBay open tagline.
Oh.
And it's interesting too, for those of you that Kim says we broke 11,000.
Awesome.
We put a thanks for 10,000 video out last week and just broke 11,000. And I saw this morning I'm gonna close to breaking 90,000 downloads for the Seller Community Podcast. So that's very, very exciting.
Awesome.
Wow.
But also, if you are eBay sellers and you've been there for a while, I call it eBay Open Anniversary Week, because it was a lot of times the end of July. We get nostalgic. Oh my God, I kind of started to choke up, but it passed. We get nostalgic. I know.
It's fast.
No worries, Patrick. It passes. We get
all the memories pop up on
all
Facebook.
The memories that come up. And I was lucky enough to do 3 years, of the Las Vegas extravaganzas with eBay. And I think the last one, 2019, was my favorite. And I was like, how can we top this? But, virtual is virtual. Keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for Posh Fest. You may hear some interesting things, ladies and gentlemen. But Patrick, did you get to say your parting words, or did I talk over you?
No, I don't really have any. I don't have a quote. I don't have any, definitely not sellers sell on, but I'll come up with something better on my own or something.
Here we go.
I'll go to my AI to generate me a tagline.
Shut up and list. That's a better one.
Shut up and list. It's the favorite. It's on the one-of-a-kind Seller Community Cup. And I apologize for getting briefly choked up for half a second, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was out of control.
Keep it together, Doug.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the shirt you're wearing.
That's right. It's my eBay shirt. Actually, obviously you gotta, when you put a red eBay shirt on, you gotta think of Theresa Cox. So I noticed that I have two red eBay shirts. So
yeah. Good for you.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks again, Patrick and Theresa. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. See you next week. More listing parties, more lives, more podcasts, more blogs, more selling. all of that stuff. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.
Bye.